So today I'd like to show you some different ways that you can enter handstand. So that this is a helpful video for you, I'm going to show you what some more beginner attempts look like, and then I want to explain to you what I'm feeling when I catch myself in these positions. Last week I posted a handstand prep video, which is basically a combination of exercises which will help you start to build the strength, which will be helpful in approaching what I'm going to be showing you in this video. One of the first techniques I'm going to show you is exactly like the video I made about floating up from downward dog into your standing forward bend. So this first technique is just like that, except that we're trying to hold ourselves at the top of the mat with the hips over the shoulders and the legs bent. So I'm in a really short downward dog, setting up my palms, and then there we go, a little hop so the hips are coming towards the shoulders. Here my shoulders are slightly beyond my wrists. My legs are not working very hard. Then you can come down the exact same way we did in that video, back into your standing forward bend. So this one I really like to start out with because it will help you feel that this is mostly about your shoulders and about your core, and the legs can work very little here. Let me show you what some more attempts might look like. When you're first starting out doing this, it's going to be a matter of feeling where your hips are in space. So there my hips didn't go quite far enough over my shoulders, but it's good practice anyway. It helps to strengthen your wrists, and it helps you to learn and problem solve where your hips need to be. You'll notice that I'm doing this without a wall, and when you're first starting, of course you can set up with a wall behind you so that there's no fear of overshooting and falling over. There's another variation we'll try in a minute, extending the legs out so you can get the legs involved. Another way to try this is to lift one leg and hop with the other leg. It's very much like we talked about in forearm stand. This is one of the ways that you can get your legs off of the floor in that position. So there I catch it. I want to show you what it looks like if that leg starts to go too far. If you were at the wall, that back foot would have touched the wall already and you can come back down. So here we go again, leg extends, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna take a little hop. So there I'm trying my non-dominant leg, which might be a fun thing for you to try. If you're used to leading or kicking up or hopping up with one leg, try the other leg just so that it gets a chance to build those patterns also. Even if you don't stay up very long, celebrate your small successes because they're all signs that your body is learning how to manage itself in these different positions. So once you're able to catch yourself there with one leg up, one leg bent, then once you feel okay and you can hold yourself there for a couple of breaths, then we can start to think about bringing the legs together. I'm just feeling that out, watching my hands, and my hands are moving. If you watch your feet when you stand, they shift as you continue to balance yourself in standing, and that's what my hands are doing too. They're not just flat on the floor, not moving. So I held that for a second and then come right back down. I don't practice this version a lot for getting into handstand, but I do think it is valuable to practice different ways of getting into something so that you can build strength in all different kinds of areas. So lastly, we can try hopping up with straight legs instead of bent legs. So this is definitely more of a challenge for your core, and it requires a slightly bigger jump. This is what I do most of the time, so I'm really comfortable here. And I feel like I can access the lower core much better when both of my legs are moving up together. You might feel differently, but this is what I do. And so there we go, feet over hips, over shoulders. I'm keeping my big toes together there, and I'm just really lightly pressing them together to allow my inner thighs to participate. This is what some of your first trials might look like. You kind of undershoot. So I'm going to do this again and intentionally hold myself in that V-shaped position. So there, you can just practice holding that, and you don't have to rush getting into handstand. That's going to help you build a lot of strength and body awareness just by doing that. All right, so if you really want to get fancy, you can practice piking up, which is kind of what I was doing when I hopped up with straight legs. But piking up is when you start in your standing forward bend and you lift your legs all the way up. It's very advanced. I'm still working on it. I'm going to use blocks and stand on the blocks. It makes it easier for me because it gives me a longer lever. And I'm gonna take the tiniest hop ever from the blocks. Okay, I moved pretty quickly into that V shape and now I'm going all the way up. So this is something you could practice after you've practiced the other entrances for a while. So you can see where I've practiced most is in that middle kind of V-shaped position, but you can work on slowing and smoothing the transitions from the top to the middle to the bottom. And finally, child's pose.